Great.
Okay.
I am recording. It is recording. Yay.
All right. Let's unprecedented move this shit, and we'll start immediately.
Oh my god. We don't do that on the...
I know.
We don't do that.
I feel like well, see, already I'm off to a start of just talking about doing it instead of just doing it.
He walked out in the gray light and stood, and he saw for a brief moment the absolute truth of the world. The cold, relentless circling of the intestate earth. Darkness implacable. The blind dogs of the sun in their running. The crushing black vacuum of the universe. And somewhere 200 animals trembling like ground foxes in their cover. Borrowed time and borrowed world and borrowed eyes with which to sorrow it.
And lo, for the earth was empty of form, and void, and darkness was all over the face of the deep, and we said, look at that fucker dance.
Welcome to Heat Death of the Universe, a podcast where we explore the ineffable and intertwined wonder and tragedy of the human experience via Joe, the sentient Amtrak train whistle Biden's blandly flatulent, dementia-driven nappy times. That sort of covers about like half what we're going to talk about today, really.
Yeah, I think
Biden basically shitting his pants and falling asleep, being the height of his presidency, maybe.
Wait, did he really?
He didn't shit his pants, but you didn't hear about Fartgate?
Oh.
It's been on like every whatever. I don't know why I hate saying the word leftist podcast, but it's been on all the fucking leftist podcasts.
I've been a bad content person. I haven't been listening to shit. I've been listening to music again. It's weird. Like I haven't opened the podcasting app. I've just been opening Spotify, and I've been listening to some new albums and old albums.
That's cool.
Walking around. Finding that it's like making me like feel better about myself. Growing a giant beard again. I'm just gonna do one of those old men things and pretend it's my glory years. Go all the way back to the 2007.
Listen to Fleet Foxes on repeat.
Yeah. I'll stride around listening to Fleet Foxes. Got it.
All right, cool. So something. You're rediscovering your roots through beard growth and Spotify.
Yeah, man.
Cool.
I even thought about opening up like bear versus elephant, and tiny mixtapes. Check out what all the old people now are listening to. The oldies reviews.
You're gonna reactivate your Brooklyn vegan commenter account, so you can go get into fights in the comments section.
And I will turn my nose up in disdain to Pitchfork. I think you could be reading better blogs. I'm gonna post some fashion shots of myself in like classic Americano clothing, like fucking trad clothing.
Well, as soon as you brought up the beard thing, that's why I said Fleet Foxes. So now I just can't shake it. Like you got to get some flannel and a hat, grow your hair real long past your shoulders and sing real sad acoustic songs with about 10 of your identical looking friends.
Dude, I can do that.
Done and done.
I will, I'll call my band My Nighttime Hoodie.
My God. What's the opposite of Fleet Foxes? Clumsy Cougars. I don't know.
That's a good name for a band, Clumsy
All
Cougars.
Right.
Dig it.
You
want to start another band?
Important pants shitting news to get to here, but where to begin? I say.
Have you ever shat your pants before?
Well, sure.
Don't lie.
I just said sure.
I mean, I think everyone.
Oh,
has.
you think I'm lying? You think I'm trying to be cool, like I never have, but I'm lying about
Not
having
even
done
when
it.
I was a baby.
Yeah, never ever.
I'm a machine. Machines don't eat.
Machines don't dream, right? What am I thinking of? I'm thinking of a Philip K. Dick title.
Yeah, Electric Sheep.
Yeah. Are they robots? They dream.
They dream of electric sheep.
Oh, yeah, they don't dream of themselves. Anyway, dreams. This is a article I saw that I honestly mostly just like put this on the list because I thought it could make for a slightly interesting conversation. But the article itself is pretty self-explanatory. So it's when work invades your sleep through your dreams. What? Unbelievable, right? But it's true. This happens to people.
I dream about my work sometimes, and I think it's just because it's a really socially demanding job, teaching.
Well, also, it's like a huge part of everyone's life, so of course you're going to dream about your job once in a while. But would it... Like the reason it was even like a novel, I think like article, was they just wanted to connect it to like these times we're living in, these crazy Corona times, people having like nightmares about Zoom and stuff, which I guess is kind of like a new interesting twist on it. But so yeah, they just kind of like they get like sort of like anecdotal little stories from people about their like panicked Zoom dreams and shit. And
I read this one a while ago. Can I give you part of what I think this is?
Yeah.
This because it kind of, now that my memory's jogged, I think this is fucking propaganda. Listen.
In which direction? Yeah.
In the direction of managers in the ruling class wanting people to come to the fucking
Wall
office.
Street Journal, we should say.
Because like a lot of people have really enjoyed working remotely and would like to keep it up. But I know a lot of like manager types, especially the ones in like middle management, who really don't have a purpose if all their employees are remote, would like people to come back to the office. I think this is just all just like, get back to the office, because they're having dreams about work because they're like missing the office. Yeah,
that does seem to be implicit. I'll be honest, I didn't like closely read or even read the entire article. But I had like a companion article to it, which basically said what you just said, which is like all about what bosses really think about remote work. And yeah, it's just, well, yeah, like you said, it's kind of propaganda, and it's like, but although in that other article, which I forget where it was even published, it did cite that, like, you know, the majority of workers would like to still remain working remotely, I think. And I saw actually a separate article, which I didn't set aside, like yesterday, that was talking about like the reason people are being like more, I guess picky would be like the negative term, but let's say discerning in their like job seeking choices now, is because, yeah, they did get a taste of remote work because of coronavirus, and they want more of it. They're like, why not? Give me a good reason why I can't keep doing this from home. And so, you know, this whole phenomenon of these stupid fucking businesses complaining about people being lazy and trying to live off the government dole or whatever, which in America, haha, give me a break. Like, you basically can't live off of unemployment. I mean, I guess there's certain states where maybe there's added state level money, but if you're just talking about federal shit, like that's all, it's all either basically over. And even when it was around, if you couldn't you could barely support a single person on that. But anyway, we've talked about that before, but
yeah, I mean, I actually prefer teaching in person, but just about any other job, like if I still had an office job, I had an office job 10 years ago. Oh God, it was awful. That job you could totally do from the comfort of your bed.
Yeah. Yeah.
And most of teaching, like I'm pretty lucky with like my work that I don't have to like do my planning and stuff at work. I know a lot of people who do. I always found that ridiculous too. Like just go, why can't you do the like stuff where you don't have to like interact with other humans, whether they be small or big, where you want to? Why has it got to be in a specific space? Anyways.
Yeah, because if you're getting a salary, like, yeah, you should be able to just choose where you want to get that kind of outside work done. Yeah, for sure. And I mean, that's like, I mean, again, our kind of teaching, we're still relatively, well, depends on where you are here in Korea. We don't need to really go into this too hard, but like I've had certain jobs where I had to like spend entire weekends like panicking and doing like insane amounts of work. But those are kind of rare for the kind of jobs we generally get over here as English teachers. Like the place you work now is like pretty easygoing and you don't, yeah. Anyway, dreaming, but I'll just say one last thing, I guess, about like this idea of dreams invading work is that it reminded me of these like terrifyingly dull dreams that have stuck with me like for years and years that were always centered around work. Like I can recall one very specific one where I was at like the bookstore that I worked at in high school. But the whole dream, like the only thing in my field of vision was a cash register, and it felt like it lasted for like eternity. And I was just like punching keys on a cash register over and over and over. It was like kind of a vision of hell. And then I think I was explaining this to a friend the other day. Another one I really remember from still a long time ago was like trying to fix like a fucked up Xerox machine in the middle of a suburban road. And just like, it was just the sense that it was going on forever and that I could never fully fix it. And like, when you wake up from those kind of like dreams, you feel like something's been stolen from you, or like your brain is being hijacked by shit you don't want it to be hijacked by.
Definitely.
And like, they do mention that feeling in this article of like, where is it? Floral Park from New York, marketing professional says, you wake up and have this sort of work fatigue where you feel like you've been working for 24 straight hours. So it's just like, even in your sleep, your job is like exploiting you and taking away your time and your attention. So I guess that's probably the most interesting thing you could probably say about an article like this. But anyway, I suppose in the interest of time, we should just scoot along. Or do you have any memorable work, like kind of specifically work related dreams?
No, I feel like I'm actually surprisingly lucky in this one that I haven't spent much time dreaming about work at all in my life.
Kudos. You're a lucky guy.
as I'm listening to this and reading about this, I'm just like, yeah. I'm like a fucking enlightened fucking guy, not dreaming about work.
See, now I can put this in my back pocket the next time you're like,
but
life is shit and like nothing ever goes my way. I'll be like, remember the dream thing.
I still dream about terrible shit from middle school though, so what can you do? Just can't let it go. Can't let go my middle school life. I've been hung up on it since then. Because, that's what being hung up means. Well, fuck it. Hate everything.
Hey, you got to dodge the work dreams.
Oh, good point.
Want to take us on to the next headline? The next whatever? What do we got here? This one's probably upbeat, uplifting.
I think it's uplifting. A record 4.4 million Americans quit their job in September. They're even calling this moment in time the Great Resignation.
Yeah, I guess I do like the ring of that in a way.
Yeah.
Although it also
No, I used to have this dream. It's not where I want it to be, but like
what I wanted to say here was that the Great Resignation could easily be the title of Jason's biography. That's all. Continue.
When I was a wee lad, I used to dream that me and my friends used to walk around, puffing away, and we would talk about things. Sometimes we'd sit on lawn chairs and talk about things too, and we'd talk about what if everyone would just quit their job? It'd be pretty cool. I hope it happens. We're getting there. I know it's just like 3% now, but what if it's like 30% tomorrow?
Yeah, well, I mean, it sounds like you and your high friend were just thinking of
I didn't say I was high.
You said puffing away. I assume that meant smoking pot.
No, it was candy cigarettes, man. Just blowing that sugar into the air.
Okay.
Lucky Star candy cigarettes.
But yeah, I mean, that would just be like the ultimate general strike. Yeah, general strike. The ultimate general strike. But I mean, so yeah, I guess this article is, I mean, do you read it as like purely positive? Because I mean, some of these...
No, I don't.
Yeah, I mean, some of these people must be suffering.
I mean, it's definitely not purely positive. I'm glad people are not settling for bad gigs.
Right.
I'm actually surprised by it because it seems like people don't want to go back to bad gigs, and that's good. But yeah, no, I also feel bad about people.
Yeah, that's kind of what I
feel bad that like employers aren't just willing to be like, okay, let's figure this out. Let's figure out how to do childcare for people. Let's figure out how to like pay you enough. Which,
yeah,
I don't know why the onus is on the fucking workers. Shouldn't it be on the fucking people running these businesses if they want to attract workers?
I mean, yeah.
just take a fucking like note from Costco. Sorry, I mentioned Costco because I know that companies ran really well as far as how they treat employees, for better or worse.
Yeah, I've heard that. This seems to be kind of the American version of the article I was kind of referencing just before about people not settling as easily as well, and except that was about England, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah.
And it was about people just saying no, like I'm gonna hold out and like try to find remote jobs. And then the other part of that article, which I guess I should try to track down and link it into the show notes, is it was interviewing like employers in Europe who were saying like, this is actually good for us. Like we can get people from like all over the world to do these like kind of like fairly specified tech jobs or whatever, or whatever. It could be like, there's so many types of jobs that you could do from home. But yeah, anyway, I guess I'm just trying to add to this idea of like this feeling of a slow, very slow upswing, an uptick in like, it like goes hand in hand with all the labor strikes right now too, where people seem to be reacting to these shitty economic circumstances in a way of like realizing management needs us, we don't need management. basically. And hopefully that just keeps spreading. I mean, that's all you can really, I don't know, hope for at this stage in the ways of things. But
totally.
People are also generally flipping out about inflation these days, I've noticed. But when I see inflation, I'm just like, I just want to throw like modern monetary theory books at people's heads and be like, shut up. Just fix it. Yeah. Print the fucking money.
It's stuff that I feel like they could fix that. I can see how they've like fucked up the international like shipping everywhere. I don't.
Oh, it's a big clusterfuck.
The shipping's like screwed up, I think, because they're not paying people enough. If I've read right, they've like, because of shareholders, a lot of the shipping companies cut like essential employees that they didn't think was essential. So now there's not enough workers. So the trains and boats aren't moving the way they should. Everything's like a congested fuck. But well, you know, much like all these other employees are like, oh, we don't want to put those jobs back.
We haven't actually. I don't think we've talked about that on the podcast yet. But like the ships that are just like stuck on American shores right now. Like, I didn't know this till kind of recently, but like, there's like people like committing suicide on those boats because they're like not allowed to leave basically unless they want to like lose their job. So I didn't quite
imagine.
Like at first I was like, oh, this is just fucked up for the economy. But I didn't even think about like the individuals like working on those boats and how they're also in limbo and like kind of going crazy.
And some of those individuals aren't Americans. So they're like, there's a lot of international people on boats from what I understand. So maybe they can't even like board. I don't know. Look, I'm just talking out of my ass here.
No, that's a good point. Like that could be an additional way that they're trapped. Like if they're like, okay, how can I like emigrate? You know, like can I get a tourist visa? Like, should we move on?
Yeah.
Okay.
What's Mom up to?
Mom. Oh God. All right. So the more I only like just started kind of like looking into this UN meeting, COP26. I thought like people would be calling it like COP, but everyone just keeps calling it COP, which is anyway.
I'm dumb. First time I saw the COP26 on Twitter, I just read past it like, oh, they're having like some fundraiser for cops.
Well, that's not that crazy of a leap if you don't know. I mean,
yeah.
But here's the thing is, yeah, it is kind of all over the news to some degree, but like it's like all of these kind of climate forums and whatever is just it's fucking it makes me feel more like hopeless about climate disaster because these people are just the worst, man. Like these things are just truly like bankrolled by the polluters. Like the resolution they finally came to after like 12 days of this thing, like the guy who was like kind of in charge of it, I forget his name even, but he was like crying like this is so beautiful and amazing. And it's like when you look at what they're actually promising to do, and let's just throw this out there, when they promise this shit, it's non-binding for anybody. Like Paris Accords, non-binding. That's why we break them constantly. That's why Biden is breaking them right now. The Kyoto, same thing. Like all of these things that are supposed to be like this is the international agreement that's going to change the course of climate disaster. It's just people fucking like getting like righteously giving speeches and like a lot of like corporate PR speak that drives me crazy. And like, I guess a good example of it, it
always has been.
The main thing I wanted to bring up was Abby Martin. I talked about her like documentary she's working on about how like if we don't basically eliminate all of the carbon emissions of the military, essentially the U.S. military alone, like everything else is in vain. And somehow she got in. Somehow she got a press pass to this thing, and she got to directly ask Pelosi And she was like very just to the point. She wasn't being like rude, whatever. She just said, "Well, I'm gonna play it.
Okay.
I pieced this thing together. I made an MP3, so I might as well use it." And just pay attention to the way it's two people respond to her. Some guy whose name I can't be bothered to look up. Some just fucking just stooge for, I'm sure, some horrible company. And then Pelosi, who is like sort of moderating this section of the thing. And go.
Wait a minute. I want a woman. Gender equality here. Maybe I don't. Let's see.
I'll comment after the fact.
Abby Martin with the Empire Files. Speaker Pelosi, you just presided over a large increase in the Pentagon budget. This Pentagon budget is already massive. The Pentagon is a larger polluter than 140 countries combined. How can we seriously talk about net zero if there is this bipartisan consensus to constantly expand this large contributor to climate change, which is exempt from these conferences? Military is exempt from climate talks.
Well, I just want to use an example if I can.
This is my editorial background music,
part
obviously.
Of, what's happening.
These fucking clowns from Washington.
I'm not a defense person, but I've had so many talks.
They're just saying nothing. They're just like, these are just words, like
about
going
how
in
they have to respond
word circles
to what's going on. So I really do think that there is no reason why what we're putting together, with Build Back Better and other things, can't respond to the Defense Department and have the same impact in terms of reducing
So
emissions.
you just said nothing.
And I do
You
think
just
that
said,
the Defense
"I'm
Department
going
is
to
very
kiss
much
the
aware of the
Army's
fact
ass
that they have to
forever.
play a
Give
major
them as much
role,
money as they want."
both from a strategic as well as
They have no
for the good of the
plans to
world.
cut
So
down carbon
I don't
emissions.
see what we're doing in any way, or
Not
increasing the
necessarily.
defense budget as being something that's inconsistent with climate action. I really
Oh,
don't.
I really don't. Yeah.
May I just add
Fuck
that
you.
National security advisors all tell us that the climate crisis is a national security matter. It is, of course, a health matter for our children, the water they drink, the air they breathe, etc. It is a jobs issue between clean technologies being the future of our workforce and the training for all of that. It is a national security issue because of
She's
the
doing the same
all
thing.
of the
She's just doing the
conditions
same
that climate
thing.
crisis produces. I won't go into all of them, but they do are cause for migration, conflict over habitat and resources.
These are the people.
And again,
These are the
a
best minds
security
in the world.
challenge
That's what we're supposed to
globally.
believe.
And then the fourth, of course,
These are the people who are
moral
gonna
issue
save-
that we need
save the
to
planet.
pass on this planet to future generations
best minds in
in a
the world do
responsible
better
way.
stuff with their
Now,
time.
recognizing what you said,
They
we
sound
recognize
like
that
people
as
I
well.
went to like
And a
high
big
school
user
with
of-
who were giving
of,
like bad
fuel,
speeches and like just trying to
there
pad
have
out
been
the
many initiatives
runtime.
over time more successful with more technology to convert from fossil fuel to other sources of fuel to run the military, because it would make the biggest difference. Transportation, defense,
Jesus,
these are
shut
two
up.
of the biggest. It can make the biggest difference in all of that, and that is something we're very, very focused on. As I say, the Defense Department sees this systemically, that we have to stop it as a national security issue, and one way to do that is to stop our dependence on fossil fuels, which exacerbate the climate crisis.
Okay, I apologize for making us listen to the entire thing. I almost turned it off like 6 times. But I just wanted I wanted the full effect of like listening to these people drone on in like this circular non-answering fashion to really like be felt, I guess. And I had to listen to it, so now I'm making everyone else listen to it. But like, my God, did they not address her question at all? And holy shit, the funniest part is that Pelosi in the beginning was like, she's like, if you watch the videos, like she looks like the sickly version of E.T., kind of.
Yeah.
Anyway, I usually don't make fun of people's appearance, but people that are that evil, like, they're fair game, in my opinion. And also, it's just, like, I'm emphasizing how fucking old and decrepit she is, and she shouldn't be in charge of anything because her brain is slipping. And, but she was, like, this identity politics, what would you call it? Just cheap grab for, like attention or for, like, points or whatever. She's like, no. I want a woman to answer the question, ask a question now. And then little does she know, it's Abby Martin, like, I don't know, maybe one of the more effective, I think, at least on her level, like, I don't know, conveyors of how fucked the climate is and how much it's because of people like Nancy Pelosi, etc. So that was a real surprise for Nancy. In the video, you see her, like, nervously fumbling with her, like, flowing silk scarves and shit. She looks so fucking stupid. I hate her. I just hate her so much. And that guy was no better. That guy was just, like, he was just, like, more, he was sitting down and, like, more, he sounded more sure of himself when he spoke a little bit. They both.
Oh, we know he's terrible too.
Yeah, they both said what amounted to the same thing. They're like, "There's no little silly little girl. How could there be a conflict of interest with giving the military $25 billion more every year, like for like infinity, and the fact that they're one of the number one polluters in the world, like on the level of nations." And they don't, like, address it whatsoever. And anyway, that's just, like, one slice of the idiocy that went on during this, like...
We're going to keep doing this until everything burns down, man.
I know. At least we got to listen to the circus music.
Don't worry. Some rich people will fucking figure out how to make a golf course on the moon. They'll be okay.
Yeah. And, I mean... So, like, one of the big things about these kind of conferences, they focus on net zero. Like, we're going to hit net zero by 2050. And I saw that, like, in the first Kyoto conference, the plans they were saying were, like, we're going to get 50% of the way to net zero by 2050. And, like, now they're just, like, making... But... I just want to, like, briefly talk about the fact that, like, this net zero shit is a joke.
You know where I am on it? Just before you get into it.
Yeah, like,
it's
yeah, please.
Like, there's, like, two schools of thought on climate change. That, like, we can be preventative, which is what we should be doing. Much like we should have closed everything down for the pandemic, we should be, like, doing everything in our power, which actually I think normal people, like us people on the ground, do. Like, I think... Most people are really good about recycling
but as we've talked about, like, energy,
but it's all business. It's all corporation. So, like, that's one thought of how you fix the climate. The other thought is that someone comes around and invents something, you know, the magic thinking, which I'm sad to say is, like, that's their only hope.
Yeah, I was reading about, like, the carbon capturing technology. I guess they're going to try to implement some of that in Korea soon. I read recently, but, like, that, you know, it's like it's not a perfected technology yet. It's not. No one's even lying about it being like a magic bullet or anything. But
I'm not saying it's ideal. I just don't think that our leaders. Or the people in charge are going to do anything. So our only hope is just like a magic invention. For right now, it's magic. Maybe it's not magic, but that's like beginning to look like the only hope for humanity.
No, I'm with you. I'm not, and I know you're not saying it's ideal. It's just, I'm saying I want it to. I mean, obviously you want it to work too, but I'm just saying what I understand of the science was just not a ton. Is basically like the bottom line of it at this moment is. Yeah, you can put all the carbon capturing like shit in the world like that is available right now up, and it's just not gonna be enough. And
what we need is a machine that clones trees.
Well, see, okay, that actually brings that's the big lie about this net zero thing, is because people hear that term, right? Including myself until pretty recently, didn't quite realize that all it means is like people offsetting their carbon by doing things like planting trees and like and it just and like companies do that like right now. I watched this video with Rashida Tlaib, and I mean, you know how I feel about the Squad, but I was like, yeah, she's right on here talking about this. She talked about how this.
Sometimes they say the right thing.
I know. I'm giving props where props are due, but like she made a really good point in a really succinct like way that like people could understand. She was like standing in front of some huge factory, I forget what company, and she was pointing out that like one of the ways they get to say that they're like reducing their carbon footprint is basically cleaning up the air in the white part of Detroit, because she's from Michigan, right? Yeah, and like basically just moving it over to like where black people live, and they're like, yep, offset. Net zero, like, and then planting trees, and they use all these fucking buzzwords like green barriers and shit. And it's just like, okay, that's more trees. Yes, more trees are good, but when you like put them on balance with everything else that you're doing, and with like the trees that are being cut down and stuff, like, anyway, you and I know we talk about this all the time. It's like Unless there is some great scientific leap forward, like there's no way. Like, so also like, what's the number we're afraid of hitting? Right, it's 1.5 increase Celsius, right?
I think so.
That this COP26 bullshit. Their resolution was, we won't let it go past 1.5. And certainly not to 2. And they were like
shifting goalposts, man.
There was so much shifting goalposts going on. Like one of the other things I saw was like at the very like they were like right about to like ratify the whole thing, and the like I don't know fucking UN master of ceremonies was like, oh wait, hang on, in the back corner there, India wants to say something, and the Indian representative was like, I strongly believe we must change the language of and it was just like it was something like eliminating carbon to like reducing carbon. It was basically like, we can't promise to get rid of it, guys. We got to just say we're going to reduce it, and then you take us one step back from the whole thing, and it's like, oh, wait, and all of this doesn't mean anything anyway, because nobody's bound legally to any promise they make here. This is all just a big fucking jerk-off session to like placate a few people, and largely I think what it is it's just a big way of covering for, gigantic corporate entities that have a lot of skin in the game, in the polluting game, but also know that like the public is, pissed off about this stuff. But anyway, I mean, I'm just gonna. I found a really interesting article about how this climate scientist said that he really regretted how he kind of inadvertently contributed to the idea of net zero, and but we can move on here. What time is it? Okay. Oh, we got
the next thing. Rich people.
I thought we were really running out of time.
No, I think we're okay.
Well, then I just want to add something.
I am running out of time, though. As in, I mean, I'm dying slowly. Quicker than I was a while ago.
Only you. Doesn't apply to anyone else.
If I die while we're recording, don't stop. Don't call for help. Just look at my dead body and finish the podcast. Okay?
Well, in the article, he talks about some of the things we were just talking about like, oh yeah, this part made me laugh out loud when I was just reading it to myself silently. Hang on, fuck, where is it? Oh, here we go. Carbon capture and storage. Like, he says, given core assumption of incremental change, it was becoming more and more difficult for economic climate models to find viable pathways to avoid dangerous climate change. In response, the models began to include more and more examples of carbon capture and storage, a technology that could remove the carbon dioxide from coal-fired power stations and then store the captured carbon deep underground indefinitely. Now, the punchline hasn't come yet. That made me laugh. Continuing, this had been shown to be possible in principle. Compressed carbon dioxide had been separated from fossil gas and then injected underground in a number of projects since the 1970s. These enhanced oil recovery schemes were designed to force gases into oil wells in order to push oil towards drilling rigs and so allow more to be recovered. Oil that would later be burnt, releasing even more carbon dioxide into the atmosphere. It's just like, hey, let's take that carbon, shove it deep down. Hey, what can we shove down? Let's shove down some more oil so we can get more oil. So it's just like, it's like this hilarious cartoonish thing in my mind of like someone just like shoving down something bad and it just popping up out of another like groundhog's like hole or whatever the fuck. I don't know. It's
checks
just
out to me.
It's a pretty good example of like the futility of these incremental changes, if you even want to call them that. They're basically just like playing like hide the ball. Yeah, shifting goalposts, like you said. Anyway, what's up with rich people? I mean, this basically is. I mean,
it's just what we've been saying, but first off, this is a big thing that is like I think pretty common knowledge. Is like 25 times the rich people have a carbon footprint pretty much 25 times the size of a typical American. But if you look like at the top 1% of rich people, their carbon footprint is makes up for 15% of the emissions in the world, which is crazy. So like the top 1% of our richest people like are actually, it's just kind of crazy how much I guess the mega rich
and that's
pollute.
Presumably not accounting for like their business ventures. This is all like their personal footprint. It's got to be, because if you're including like the companies they own, it would be way higher than that.
Yeah.
So like, yeah, that is crazy. Like 1% of what is this? Is this just an American study?
So taken as a whole, those in the global top 1% of income account for 15% of emissions, which is more than double the share of those in the bottom half. The extremely wealthy have only gotten richer over the past 30 years, and as data shows, their carbon footprints have gotten much bigger as well. Yeah, and
what are some reasons for that? Any good examples of wasteful, wealthy habits?
Well, they, have multiple houses. They fly a lot. I know one of the biggest things is they fly a lot.
Yeah, private jets.
Basically, almost like the article here says, almost everything the wealthy do involves higher emissions, from living in bigger houses to running larger cars, like, sports cars, and flying more often. Flying more often is one of the biggest ones, especially private jets, or if you watch Succession, private helicopters. Eating meat comes into it, as does owning a swimming pool, not to mention a holiday home or a beach home. They own too much shit. They own 4 times the amount as a normal person. So that means they're using 4 times the amount of a normal person, right? But I guess according to this, they own 25 times the amount of a normal person. So they produce 25 times the amount of waste. Instead of buying an Xbox, they buy the Gucci Xbox that came out from Hypebeast this year, which is $10,000 instead of like $400.
Is that a real thing?
Oh yeah, Gucci and
oh my god,
Gucci and Xbox teamed up to make a Gucci Xbox.
That's fucking disgusting.
It's whatever. Yeah, it's just, to me, it's.
You could have easily convinced me that you were just like making that up, and I would have believed you as well. Damn. Yeah, those numbers are no joke, and
I've heard. I just want to emphasize the private planes. I've always heard that flying's like one of the very worst things that people do, which sucks because I do like traveling, but I've even thought about cutting my travel down. Well, my travel has cut down quite a bit from pandemic and other shit, but yeah, flying's.
I mean, I guess I don't know what the real numbers are, but I'm I'm pretty sure that, I mean, I'm not saying like flying isn't carbonly problematic or whatever, but I would just bet kind of blindly by comparison to, I don't know, a single like Nike factory or some shit, that it's probably like nothing. Maybe I mean, I'm exaggerating a bit there, but like if you're looking at like just factories that are running 24/7 and just pumping out pure poison, basically.
Yeah.
Although there are a lot of flights every day around the world, so I don't know. I could probably easily look this up, but here we are.
It's not.
We'll save that for next time.
Everything we do fucks the world.
I'm sure this isn't the last time we're gonna have to have something to say about
My God, one day I'll fuck the world too.
the coming water wars and whatnot.
I'm sick of everyone else getting to fuck the world. When is it my turn? When is my turn to fuck the world?
I'm gonna throw in like a lighthearted thing, and then you can tell us about more global disaster. There is this guy who, a Texas lawyer cited for wearing Halloween Michael Myers costume on beach. So this is a classic clickbait. I had to see it. And yeah, basically he just sorry, I just wanted to know where it was. Okay, this was in Galveston, Texas, which that's on the coast there on the I guess there's only one coast in Texas, Gulf of Mexico coast. And like a big storm was approaching, and he was like, his whole rationale was like, this will just be like good old fashioned fun for people. I'm gonna go out with a knife and a Michael Myers mask and wander up and down this beach, like as the like ominous like storm clouds are coming in too, which makes it even funnier, to me at least. And he ended up getting arrested, and because someone did call 911 saying a man's walking up and down the shore carrying what looks like a bloody knife. And let's see. So this guy's name is Mark Metzger III. He got ticketed for disorderly conduct and released, according to some radio station in Houston. He said on the radio, Metzger, that he was trying to find a little bit of positivity in the gloomy doom. He said the Beach Patrol even played the Halloween movie theme song when they saw him. See, that's all fun. And he said a bunch of people just like high-fived him and took selfies with him, but then like one person got freaked out and he got arrested. And he doesn't really care. I mean, it's not a big deal, but the last sentence of the story is, still he admits he's fuzzy on what exactly was illegal about his actions. I kind of wonder that too. Like, I don't know, you can't like wear a Halloween costume. Anyway, I thought that was a weird little funny story. And the fact that he just keeps talking about wanting to bring positive vibes and help people, like he says even more actually. Okay, he posted on Facebook, bring positive vibes to the gloom and doom out there, generating some laughter, helping people crack a smile, and restoring our faith in humanity through humor is 100% what I'm about. It's all I've been about my entire life. My methods might not work for everyone, but I guarantee I'll please more than I piss off. So if taking a silly walk down the beach during a storm in a costume and subsequently being arrested for disorderly conduct and accomplished any of that, then I do it again all day, every day.
I also live that way.
Yeah, just out there like cheering up strangers.
Well, this guy's like out there cheering people up. I'm out there trying to fill others with despair. But it's the same thing.
Is it? Sounds like the opposite.
Yeah. I mean, same coin.
Sure, same coin, other side.
Same coin.
There's a video too, which is kind of funny, where it's just someone filming from like inside their house out the window, and he's just eerily walking towards them and pointing the knife at them, and they're just like all laughing. It's like, great. Like, oh look, he wants to kill us.
Someone must have called the cops on him, though, right? That's how he got arrested.
Yeah. Someone called 911, and that's when the cops came and gave him a ticket. I don't know if they took him to jail or whatever, but I think he just got a citation. Disorderly conduct is one of those charges I've always felt is so loosely defined. It could like be applied to like basically anything, it seems like. But
yeah, as it should be.
As it should be. All right.
We need ways to arrest people for whatever.
Yeah, that's just one of many, I'm sure. I mean, I know there are, but what's
more the better, that's what I say. Let the people in power have power, goddammit.
Yes, round up all the trick-or-treaters whenever we feel like it.
As I say, Jakarta's coming.
Yeah, Jakarta in form of chitty chitty bang bang. Whatever that means. You guys picking up what I'm putting down? Me either. Okay. What's next? What's next coming down the pike?
I'll keep this one short since we talk about it too much. But COVID cases are surging in Europe again.
And in Korea. I just looked it up the other day, and people are really pretending like they're not here.
So cases are surging in Europe, and I guess Korea, but Europe I bring up.
Well, wait.
Mostly
worse.
Because when they've started surging in Europe in the past, America's usually ignored it, but it's usually been like a signifier that they're going to surge in America, and America is ignoring it right now, much like every other time, so just expect another surge. But it does seem like everyone's just decided to ignore it, and a lot of people think it's surging because a lot of like the things we were doing to try to mitigate the problem, we're not doing as much of. So, you know.
Yeah.
I've accepted we're just living with it forever because it's all I can do. It's like climate change.
I guess I haven't like looked. I know I haven't looked into it, but you know, like those mandates were supposed to like basically vaccinate like another 100 million people. How's that going so far? Probably not sure. Well. Because so many people.
This article from The Guardian, which is from Friday, says that America is only at 58% of the population.
Yeah,
of America.
It's been stuck at 50 for like since the summer, at least.
Which means that Korea has already surpassed America quickly, and they started way later on the vaccines. Yay, I was right.
You're talking fully vaccinated, right? For both of them?
Yeah. I got like downvoted to hell on a subreddit once because people were complaining about how long it took to get the vaccines in Korea. And I was like, well, don't worry. They'll still vaccinate faster than
you should go back there and rub it in their fucking Reddit faces.
I shouldn't be petty about it, but I love bringing despair.
No, it's just hey, we're all
petty helps.
We all live in Korea, and I told you, goddammit. No, it's probably not. I'm sure it would just spark some stupid online fight, which are like, I'm so glad I'd never get into those anymore. Those were like soul sapping. Like,
yeah, really.
Like the ones, I don't know if you can identify with this, but like ones where like you're thinking about them when you're like at work away from your computer.
It's been a long time since I've been in one, like a really long time. I feel like I used to like, for some reason, think it was okay to argue about, you know, gun control online.
Yeah.
I don't know why I bothered.
Yeah.
People writing essays and just putting them out there and then not like responding to any comments about their essays, I think they're the ones who are doing the right thing. If you want to argue about something, why not just start the argument, then walk away?
That's the mature way.
Yeah, so COVID's not over. That's what's happening. I'm going to leave it there. I mean, if you want to look it up, The Guardian ran a good good bit about it, but there's always news about COVID. It's not over. I wish it was. I don't think it's ever going to end. We'll live with it.
Yeah. I mean, I think China may be the only country still holding out on a zero COVID policy, but I think that they're not even going to be able to manage it unless they just completely like walled off the country, which, yeah, it's not really.
Oh, we're so fucked. Where will we get our computer chips? How will we game?
Well, I just mean like letting like tourists and shit in or whatever. But.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, they wall it off both ways. They're like, we're not exporting or importing.
We're done.
We're self-sufficient.
We don't fucking need anyone anymore.
Don't you know we have this wall? This wall is magical. It just makes stuff out of nothing.
I don't actually know, but I assume China could be sufficient, right? Like it's big. Do they not have like all the natural resources there they could possibly need, much like America does? That shit works.
I mean, yeah. I mean, it would like the whole world would have to be really different. the electric grid would have to like collapse for that to have to happen.
I imagine if they decided to take their electric grid away from everyone else, that could happen pretty easily.
Yeah, but I mean, otherwise, like they're in a fairly interdependent relationship with the rest of the world. Put it lightly, I guess. Like,
much like I want everyone to quit their job, why don't all the countries quit their jobs too? God, I'm an anarchist.
Maybe it's getting there. So, God, I don't even know how much. I want to very briefly talk about this asshole, and we can push past it. But
I do like this thing.
I'll just want to set up like some things really fast, and then I want you to explain that bit because I don't know if I even quite understand it completely. But so everyone's favorite howdy doody looking motherfucker, Kyle Rittenhouse, and his fuck buddy Judge had a couple more antics since I guess we last talked about them. One was, actually maybe this happened before, it doesn't matter, but we just haven't talked about it. He took the stand personally, and he like, I watched like maybe 15 seconds of it. That's all I could take. It was like the most fake emotional testimony I've ever seen.
Hi, I'm Tabitha Soren with MTV News. Today in the Sam Sweet case, the prosecution played the 911 call that Sam Sweet made the night he murdered his brother. Keep in mind, Mr. Sweet confessed 1 month later.
Oh my God, my kid brother's been shot. I think it was an Asian gang or something. I saw someone, he looked Asian, and he was speaking another language. I'm pretty sure it was Asian.
Like he's like forcing himself to cry and he's like,
he's not sad at all.
He's like heavy breathing. No, what he's trying to do is show that his life was so threatened that
he's going to make so much money from this, which is fucking gross.
That he has like PTSD and like panic attacks now, and just
he gets to be rich while I toll away. I guess I don't really toll away anything.
Yeah, I don't know. We'll see. I mean, if he completely walks, which it's very likely that he will. I feel like
this judge is just like. This judge loves him.
Yeah, I think he's like, literally sucked his dick. And
this judge seems to be like,
I need to see Rittenhouse back in chambers under my robes.
This judge seems to be the opposite of Steve Donzinger.
Donzinger?
Judge. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. He loves him. He loves the defendant. Yeah, think about that as comparative justice, by the way. Donziger's in jail for anyway, we don't need to recount all of that. But but also, yeah, think of all right, sorry. That now that you bring that up, I was thinking about this on the climate issue. Like, and I'm not saying this like I'm surprised. I'm just saying Of course, nobody brought up the fact that Ecuador has been like terribly polluted and could be cleaned up in like a matter of days if enough money was thrown at it. But no, instead the guy who like brought it to the world's attention is in jail. And Nancy Pelosi's just like fucking sundowning in circles, and that's gonna save the planet. Like I'm not even saying like, okay, yeah, if you clean up Ecuador, I'm not saying that's the step to fixing global warming, but I'm saying that's like a tangible environmental problem that could be very easily fixed. But yet the world convenes like 200 countries, and nope, they can't get anything like that done. Of course not. Anyway, back to Howdy Doody looking motherfucker. On Veterans Day, this dumb fuck judge was like, "Any veterans in the house?" And I'm sure he was aware of this, but whatever. Like one guy raised his hand, and he, like the judge basically commanded everyone to like applaud for him and like thank him for his service. And then like it turns out this veteran was the next guy to like take the stand on behalf of Rittenhouse, and like talking about, I'm not going to look it up now. I believe he was some kind of weapons or tactical whatever expert, something like that. But so that's Rittenhouse stuff. But you found this other weird story about the trial and the dumb lawyer. The dumb judge, rather.
I want to say it's a genius.
Oh, dumb lawyers too, actually.
The lawyer's kind of dumb, but
well, they're the ones making this stupid argument, right? Inane argument, as the headline says.
Yeah, that's why I'm like, is he dumb or a genius? Because he knew his inane argument was going to get him exactly what he wanted.
Yeah,
basically
dumb like a fox.
This lawyer was like, the lawyer defending Kyle, wanted to make sure that the prosecutors could not zoom in on the video footage of Kyle,
shooting someone, like
shooting someone.
Yeah, multiple. Yeah.
And the argument for it was, I guess they wanted to show it on iPads to the jury so the jury could see it easily. The argument was like, iPads, which are made by Apple, have artificial intelligence in them that allows things to be viewed through 3 dimensions and logarithms. The word's algorithms.
Yeah, they keep saying logarithms. That's why they're idiots, man.
It uses artificial intelligence or their logarithms to create what they believe is happening. So this isn't actually enhanced video. This is Apple's iPad programming creating what it thinks is there, not necessarily is there. So the fucked up thing about this is, yes, he's not entirely wrong. When you zoom in, I'm sure when you zoom in on those apps, that it does like try to correct for some things, mainly to just make it look better. So it's not all pixelated.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter. It's showing what's in the video. It's not like Apple programs would be like, I want videos to like just change. Just change events. No, why would they do that? That's not how technology works. In general. And it's just like crazy to me that the judge like went along and was like, yep, can't zoom in on videos. We got to watch it on this old TV.
We gotta watch it on this old what are those like big fucking heavy wooden like TVs you put on the
CRT,
floor.
And like a really old school black
also
and white CRT.
I was jerking off thinking about Kyle back in my chamber, so I got this Vaseline here and I'm gonna rub it all over the screen just so you can see it more clearly. Fucking idiot. I hate this judge so much. I hate. I was going to say I don't use that word lightly. I mean, I probably do, but I just, every time I see a picture of him and I see a picture of Kyle Porterhouse, I want to punch the screen. They suck. And I know I said Porterhouse, by the way.
Kyle Porterhouse.
That's stupid. Tollhouse.
Yeah, no,
what are some other like fat jokes I can make about his stupid name?
I just wanted to bring this up because it's just like, it's such bullshit. And this is also one of those things where like, sometimes I hate old people being in charge because technology, while I bitch about tech CEOs because I fucking hate them for the most part, technology is a big part of everyone's life and it's not going away. And the people in power should fucking understand it.
Yeah, but who's gonna make him, right? I mean, who's gonna tell this guy? Who's gonna tell this guy what to do? He's like, I'm the fucking judge.
And the way the lawyer phrased it, it really made it seem like those people at Apple are going to make the people see what they want them to see, and you know those people at Apple are liberals and want this guy to go to jail forever.
Even if his argument was like it distorts like the space between objects, which it doesn't do, which it like it can't do like by the design. The whole point of it is to keep the faithful image. Like that's what the logarithm does. You stupid asshole. Yeah, that's just more. I have a feeling there's going to be more like circus, like courtroom circus type shit like this, like coming up until the judge just literally puts like a fucking medal of honor that he made around Kyle Rittenhouse's neck and like just sends him off in a fucking private jet or whatever. Yeah, well, we got through like pretty much everything here. A very minor thing that I thought was funny was that Kamala Harris, who she is so like if she hadn't done all those awful things before, I would almost I really emphasize almost feel sort of sympathetic towards her because she's so like useless and terrible now as a vice president, and no one likes her. She is the lowest approval rating of any vice president since Spiro Agnew, 28%, and which is not even that much lower than where Joe is at. But also, like, I mean, whatever, take approval ratings with a grain of salt, but I mean, people do use them as a benchmark, so whatever. But no, she said in some speech the most generic, like, politician style speak maybe I've ever heard, which was, together, we must work together to do things together. I'm Kamala Harris. I approve this message. And people, and like, all right, and I know like presidential election still ways off, but like, I feel like I've made a point of saying on this podcast, I think the campaigning is going to start in like like probably late next year, honestly. Right? It always starts so early.
I feel like it does.
But like as of right now, like basically no one thinks Joe Biden is going to be able to run again. He's in such a like all he does is fall asleep in public and fart at like the Duchess of Fucksville in England. Like wait, I forgot. Did we talk about that before we hit record or after? I can't remember. I mean. Oh yeah,
we did talk about it. We actually talked about it after we hit record.
Yeah, I was in the middle of saying like it was on like every sort of YouTube channel I watch and like podcast I listen to had mentioned it at least once, and but also it was like I did a quick like comparative YouTube search. I searched Joe Biden farting, and like tons of like really accurate, up-to-date hits came up, which I guess makes sense because it is pretty brand new news. But then I searched, what did I search? Joe Biden bankruptcy bill, and I had to like hunt for like relevant stuff to like, granted, that was like a news story from like a long time ago, but my point is that like it wasn't just the the fringe whatever stuff that we listen to and read. It was like on all the like the late shows and shit, of course.
Sure.
We're like, farting Biden, aren't we a great country? Da 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 da.
I just don't pay attention to any of this shit.
No, I mean, I don't either, man. I only know because I did that YouTube search as an experiment. But no, he was meeting with the Duchess of something I can't be bothered to look up, and like, there's no recording of it, unfortunately, but it's like widely being circulated that he let out a long and audible. Yeah.
I mean, it's just more grandpa shit.
You know what? Well, yeah, I know. That's what it's like. It's just our
classic grandpa move.
Our senile Joe. Like, he even makes gaffes with his ass. Like, what I would have hoped happened was that he just like let out this tremendous fart and then ended it with comma Jack. Like, you know, like he's fond of ending sentences with Jack. Yeah, let's do recommendations, I guess. Do you have anything in mind?
No, I can recommend music. Yeah. I like the new Courtney Barnett album, Things Take Time. Speaking of beard music, I always feel like Courtney Barnett, even though being a chick, is in the beard music category. And also other beard music.
Beard music.
Other dumb beard. What the fuck is wrong with me? I like the new War on Drugs album. That's what I was trying to say. And one more recommendation. I was listening to the classic 1994 Orbital 2 electronic album the other day, and I still enjoy it. Yeah.
Cool.
There's my recommendations. War on Drugs, Courtney Barnett, and a really old album by Orbital that has that, what is it, Halcyon? They're a famous song. You would know it if you heard it. Don't worry about it.
You'd know it if you heard it.
Everyone knows it. It's like, it doesn't matter. I can't.
Wait,
sing.
what's the name of the Courtney Barnett album?
Things Take Time.
Okay.
Things take time. So things take time, comma, take time.
Okay, I'm gonna recommend. See, I'm gonna pull a little switcheroo. I'm gonna do a Jason. I'm gonna recommend a Korean Netflix series that I think is really fun, that I've been watching the last like 2 days, called Inspector
Q.
Koo is how it's spelled in English. Koo. I mean, whatever.
I want to watch it. I haven't watched it yet.
It's pronounced a little differently in Korean, but anyway, yeah, it's about it's starring Lee Young-ae, which is the actress who was in Park Chan-wook's awesome movie from the Vengeance trilogy, Sympathy for Lady Vengeance. She was the star of that, and she's just so fucking badass. She's just great. She's really funny too. So like, this show is like, I mean, this really isn't a spoiler because you find this shit out in the first episode. And I mean, this is in the synopsis. She plays like a former detective or police officer or something like that, whose whole world is just like online gaming and getting fucking wasted, just like,
oh, that's my world,
alone. And that's like, and she kind of gets called by this insurance company that like they do like life insurance claim investigations and stuff. It's because I guess anyway, they like sometimes they just like pay her to be like a freelance detective basically, and she gets caught up in this bizarre case that spans like, I don't know, like several years, involving this younger girl who's like basically a high school student who we quickly find out is like a pretty psychotic serial killer. And
awesome.
But not in like in a pretty like interesting, unusual way of being a serial killer. Like, I'll just say, like, she's very manipulative, and it's a great, like, cat and mouse, like, lots of, like, good action and chills and thrills, but it's also really funny. Like, I find myself laughing a lot. Like, it's meant to be funny as well. So
yeah, it's on my list. I'm planning on watching
strong recommend. What one thing that's disappointing about it, though, that you'll feel me on here, is that it's on TV right now, so it's only coming out like every week, the new episodes.
Yeah. But sometimes I think shows stick better when they do that, but that's a whole nother thing.
The 6th one is coming out today, and I'm gonna watch that because I watched all 5. But yeah, Inspector Coup. And what do we do after this? We say our website name. What's our website name?
Heat Death Pod of the Universe. No, it's heatdeathpod.com. And we have a Twitter at Heat Death Pod. And we have a...
That's good.
We have a Patreon, too.
Right, Patreon.
If you'd like to help us out with the Patreon, help us out. It just goes to help us make the show.
We're breaking even over here, is what I like to say.
So thanks for listening, team.
Thanks for listening, team. And also thanks to our holy trinity of patrons, all 3 of you. Cheers. Thanks.
Cheers. Okay.
I think we said all the things that need saying.
Yep.
All right.
Okay, I'll send you these files before I leave.
All right, cool.
I'll talk to you later, man.
Bye.
Bye.
See ya. See you later. Till next time. Auf Wiedersehen. Adios.
Waiting for, and my time's running wild. A million days to 10. Every time I thought I got it made, it seemed the taste was not so sweet. So I turned myself to face me, but I'd never heartache. It's how the others must see the faker. I must decide to take that chance. The different lyrics and these children that you spit on, you're quite aware of what they're going through, and they're immune to your temptations. They're quite aware of what they're going through.
first voice recording was made in 1860. It was a 10-second fragment of the French folk song Au clair de la lune recorded by inventor Edward Leon Scott de Martinville. But who will make the final voice recording and when? What will it be? Who will hear it?